What's up, guys? Malcolm Stewart had one of the most unlikely, if not the most unlikely win, I'm going to say in Supercross history. I know there are some unlikely ones, but this wasn't a mud race. This is a regular race, and he came through the pack. I was extremely disappointed with Ken Roczen, but you know what? That's who this guy is. That's how he acts. That's who he is. Chase Sexton, new bike, new team, same story. Check out Nano-Extreme. Send me your address at email chriscookseymedia@gmail.com, and just put your name, address, and email. And I'm just going to copy and paste it from the email. So please make it so it's easy that I can do that. I'll copy it, paste it, and you will get a sample of Nano-Extreme. I was at the Arena Cross this weekend, gave them to everybody. The guys loved it. You know who really liked it? The mechanics and the dads that all have the aches and pains. They're like, yeah, this stuff's awesome. That was a really good time. And I'll break down the full Prescott Arena Cross where Vince Friese is now your champion. He's your Arena Cross champion. But that'll be later in the week. Check out Nano-Extreme. Use code Cooksey for free shipping. Check out the Coach Rob podcast. The Jeremy Martin interview drops tomorrow. So click the link in the description. Head over to the Coach Rob podcast and check out this awesome interview with Jeremy Martin about what's next. He really shared a lot in this full interview.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Man, Pierce Brown was looking so good on that Star Yamaha. I'll do a full 250 breakdown, but I wanted to update you guys. I got word on his injuries. It's pretty bad. He had that, obviously, concussion. He looked like he was out, but he also broke his back. He underwent surgery today. Doctors said it's borderline a miracle that he's able to walk, and he will. As of right now, he'll make a full recovery. But it was nasty, and I want to send my best to Pierce Brown. I do not like seeing these guys get hurt. That was nasty. Now to the feel-good story of the year, or gosh, I can't remember when I was this happy for a rider to win a race. Malcolm Stewart. And I had to laugh too. At one point, he said he figured out his starts. He got a better start. He didn't have a good start. He was like way back. I think he finished the first lap in 8th place. He did this the old-fashioned way, the hard way. He charged through some of the best riders in the world, reeled them in. And now I know Chase fell, but did anyone have any doubt at that point that Malcolm was going to get past him? Malcolm was flying. He hit this zone where he looked like his brother out there. We've all known he's capable of this, but we've never seen it. It was storybook what happened there in Tampa, in his hometown. And hearing him in the press conference talking about helping flood victims from the hurricane and his house being flooded out, it was inspiring. And you guys know I'm always hard on Feld or MX Sports for different stuff, but I got to give credit where credit is due. What they did in the post-race press conference was brilliant. You know, Anderson and Webb talk like a normal press conference, and then they brought in Malcolm. They put up the trophy and gave him his own segment. It was brilliant, and Malcolm capitalized. If you've never heard him talk, it was funny. I was talking to my buddy Dennis, who flew us in his private plane to the Prescott Arena Cross. Thank you, Dennis Brown. I appreciate that. One of the best pilots I've ever met. Flew us in nasty winds on the way there, and the dude is just spectacular in a plane. But I told him, I was like, listen, all they got to do with Malcolm, you don't even have to ask this guy questions. Just give him a mic. He is so good, and it's authentic. Like, the guys genuinely like him. When's the last time a guy won a Supercross and other people's teams were high-fiving him? That's how well-liked Malcolm is throughout the pits. Yes, he races hard. He'll take you out if he needs to. But this dude is just a genuine guy that everybody likes. And that is rare in the sport, to have a personality that just everybody gravitates towards. That's Malcolm Stewart. It reminded me of the Daytona 500. A lot of you guys won't remember this. Some of you will. When Dale Earnhardt finally got his first win, and it took him forever. He won all these championships, but he never won the Daytona 500. When he finally got it done, all the other teams came out and high-fived him. It was like, respect. That's how it felt with Malcolm Stewart getting this win. Everybody was, well, you know, they all want to win. If they don't win, they were glad that Malcolm got the win. It was something we rarely see in Supercross, and I'm not going to lie, I cherished that moment. It was badass. And beginning the year, if anyone had ever asked me, okay, so we've never had two brothers that win in the premier class. Obviously, I would think it's the Lawrences who are most likely to do that. Well, they're having their own issues. Malcolm said, I don't care. I'm gonna win. And now me and James, the two brothers, they're the only brothers to win in the premier class in Supercross. They're the first ones. They're in the record books. Anyone else that does it now, they'll be second. And this is the first time since Malcolm got on that Husqvarna. You remember he used to be that guy who would just send the whoops. I mean, to a scary level of speed. I haven't seen that on the Husqvarna. It's been weird because you take one of the best whoop riders on earth, put him on that Husqvarna, and he couldn't get through the whoops. It was weird. It's back. He was hitting those whoops. I mean, it was terrifying with how much speed he was hitting those things. And I'm really interested to see what happens with Malcolm from here on out. Does he get confidence and win and go on a run? He's only 19 points behind Cooper Webb and 26 behind Chase Sexton. If he can continually match this type of speed and get up there, win some more races, and continually be on the podium, we might be talking about Malcolm Stewart, the champion. I know it's way early to say that, but I'm feeling pretty high on Malcolm right now. The issue for Malcolm is when you have this gigantic emotional win like he just had, you got to race in Detroit in 6 days. It's hard to regain that and get back out there in 6 days after such a high. You got to be careful and not have this like emotional low come Detroit. So I'll be watching him really close to see if he can match the intensity that he had. Not the same, because I don't know that you'll ever match that type of heroic ride, but I want to see that same Malcolm fast, knowing that he can win, going to the front. I think we might. Even if he doesn't and he has that emotional letdown in Detroit, this is still, right now, I beg, like, it's going to take a big story throughout the year. This was the most fun and best win. I mean, at the Arena Cross, everyone's like, Malcolm won. It was something everybody felt. And I don't think anyone went, Malcolm won. Everyone was happy for him. The real dog in this fight is Cooper Webb. This is the most mentally strong rider in the field. He believes he's going to win. He wants to win, and he has that intensity. He's only had this a few times, and he ended up being champion in those years. I see the same thing I've seen in the other years when Cooper Webb won a championship. He has that intensity. He believes this is his championship, and he's going to go take it. He came into the season hurt. He was very quiet about it because it was the Australian Supercross where he got hurt. What he said was he had to not say much about his injury or he didn't want his pay docked. Well, his pay wouldn't get docked if he got hurt on the practice track. He got hurt over in Australia in front of all the cameras, so he couldn't really talk about it, but that's the injury that happened to him. He has fought through it, got good points, early in the year when he was injured, and now he has raced himself into shape, and he looks as good as I've ever seen him. Cooper Webb, if you did power rankings to win the championship right now, he's my favorite. And how about Jason Anderson? He's had a wild season. Remember the opener? Looked like he was going to win, but we didn't know he was missing spokes at the time. And that is terrifying, riding on a wheel with spokes hanging loose on a supercross track. We know how bad it can go and how fast it can happen. Jason Anderson salvaged a podium. Then he was deathly ill at San Diego, had a bad run. And then 1 week later, still kind of sick, gets on the podium. If they let him hang around, you might see that 2018 or the 2 years ago, Anderson, when he started to win races, you might see that guy back. He's also going to be right. All these guys, now that Jet's out, Tomac's injured, all these guys, they don't think they can win. They know they can win this championship, and it really changes the outlook. If you saw the intensity with these guys, it was almost like round one again out there. And with all these big dogs out there flying, skimming the whoops at like 100 miles an hour like Malcolm, you had old Justin Cooper just jumping through the whoops. He can't skim them. He's atrocious in the whoops. For some reason, he picks that jump line. It's slower, but it's consistent. He knows he's not going to go down. He's not going to get on the podium or win with that kind of speed, but he's getting himself some damn good results. 4th place, that's really good. I mean, he just jumped them all night long, dialed the rest of the track in, and got himself a 4th place. Good on Justin Cooper. Now, Chase Sexton, this one hurts for multiple reasons. Not just that he got run down by Malcolm, but he did what he's done. This has been the knock on Chase Sexton ever since he got to the 450 class. When leading races, he tends to make big mistakes and throw it away. This one was a little different because Malcolm kind of pressed him into it, but this is the same problem. New bike, new team, same Chase Sexton issue. This is not a bike issue. This is a Chase Sexton issue. When he throws it away while leading, he can't do this. The Merchant of Speed is back. And maybe with the Merchant of Speed and how fast he goes, maybe it's just because he pushes to that limit and that's why he throws it away. He's going to be there all the way till the end, assuming he's not hurt, because the way he slowed down, something was either wrong with him or the bike at the end of that main event. So hopefully, if he's okay, he's going to be in it just like he was the year he won the championship. But I'll tell you what, when they get to Salt Lake, if this thing's only a couple points, he is going to be kicking himself for not hanging on and getting second or third in this race. Those extra few points might be the difference between the championship when it's all said and done. Check out Ride Strapped. Best goggles, glasses, shirts. Just a cool company. I appreciate them. I love my sponsors. We're doing the Cooksy Cookout in Daytona. We're going to have about 20 people over for a barbecue on Sunday after the Daytona Supercross during Bike Week. If you want to come over, I'll have a sign-up sheet here pretty soon, and we're going to sign you guys up. We'll have about 20 people over for the Cooksy Cookout. Hit up ridestrap.com. Check out Precision Transport. This is the best shipping company, family-owned, good people, reasonable pricing. They're a good company. So if you need to ship anything and you're worried about these shipping companies, use Precision Transport. That's pretransport.com. Motobilia. This is a high-end memorabilia website. You can put your stuff on there and sell it. You can buy other people's stuff, but it is high-end quality, just some cool stuff. I like to just scroll through it. A lot of the stuff I can't afford or will never buy, I just like looking at it. So check out motobilia.com. And I also want to give a special shout out to the knuckleheads. You know who you are. So get this, people. Every time I get a new sponsor, there's these people, and I'm not going to name them by name, but they know who they are. It's the same people that kicked me out of events, sent the FBI to my house. Those same people call my sponsors and say, oh, you don't want to sponsor him. He's got a bad reputation. Well, hey, dumbasses, I have the same reputation I've always had. I tell you what I think. You don't like it because I call you out on your garbage, you're lying, you're cheating, and you're stealing. But my sponsors know who I am, what I'm about. So stop calling them and embarrassing yourself. Speaking of these greedy promoters, when are they going to change the tough blocks? Now, this isn't rocket science. The Paris Supercross solved this problem. They have these different markers that actually look a lot higher class than a stupid tough box. They bend over the plastic. They don't catch your foot pegs. Yes, if you hit them, it's not going to be good, but you got to have a marker that keeps people on the track, but it doesn't cause catastrophic crashes or injuries like these do repeatedly. Just this weekend, we lost Pierce Brown, caught a foot peg going through the whoops on a tough block. Hunter Lawrence caught a tough block. Both guys are out. Pierce, oh boy, that one's bad. And then Hunter's looked pretty bad. You don't go off in a neck brace and sit like that. I don't know the extent of his injuries, but it sure didn't look good. If these greedy promoters just did what the Paris Supercross has already done, we wouldn't have this issue. It's a dangerous sport. Let's not add to it with greed and stupidity. Speaking of stupidity, they're still sticking the pit boards right in front of these guys' faces and almost hitting them with them. This is just negligent. After what happened to Joe Shimoda, I know it's really rare and they've been doing it for a long time and there hasn't been any issues. The guys are going faster. It's changing. We've had one injury. It's such an easy fix. Get these little step ladder things. Put the mechanics up 3 feet and you can keep your archaic system of writing on a board and putting it out there and not use radios or anything like that. Please put them on step ladders. Get them out of the way of the riders. It's complete negligence that they haven't done this already. So on the feel-good night of the year with Malcolm getting his win, Ken Roczen gets the complete opposite of that award. He was the jerk of the night. Man, what a crybaby. In the first turn, it's a right-hand first turn. Dude, stack up. When Mitchell Oldenburg came on the inside, there was nowhere to go. It's the first turn, Kenny. But he's such a princess. He wants people to just get out of his way. And he's laying on his back. He kicks poor Benny Bloss's front wheel, who Benny got caught up under because he crashed. If anything, Benny should have just rode over him like Chase did to Eli. In hindsight, he probably would have, knowing that he was going to confront him after the race and accuse him of causing the problem, which he shouldn't have been mad about that crash to begin with. It's a first turn issue. It's called racing, Ken Roczen. And then in the main event, I want to break down what happened to him. Everybody's trying to bury Jeremy Hand. What are these lappers doing? They're idiots. No. The lappers are part of Supercross. Unless you want to do something where you flag them off or completely change the sport, the way the sport is, they are part of the action. And they do their best to get out of the way. But you've got sand that the best riders in the world can't keep a straight line in. And you're going to get mad that Jeremy Hand went over 2 feet. Watch it from the angle that I have here. Roczen tried to thread the needle in between the two, and he went towards Jeremy Hand. This is not all on Jeremy Hand. This is a 50-50 issue. I understand he's getting lapped, but what's he supposed to do? Check up in a foot-deep sand and then really eat it? This was a bad move on Ken Roczen. He made a bad decision. He was trying to stay with Cooper Webb, and he knew if he checked up and waited until after the section to pass the lappers, Webb was gone. I got news for you, Kenny. Webb owns you anyway. You were not going to beat Cooper Webb. You never beat Cooper Webb. You should have checked up and maybe hoped that Cooper Webb fell behind some lappers, because you never know how it's going to go. A lot of it's just luck, but that's part of the sport. Do not bury Jeremy Hand for this. That was a racing incident and an accident, and Kenny Roczen should have been more patient there. But what really disgusted me was when he's walking off the track. He's walking off the track, the cameraman's following him, and the poor cameraman trips over the tough block, the marker. And I'm not blaming the tough blocks on this. This is just something silly that happened. But if you see somebody, you're walking, and you see somebody carrying a gigantic camera fall, it looked like a pretty hard fall. You stop, you check on him, you help him up. You say, oh, I don't care how mad he is. This narcissist just keeps walking. Like, that was Kenny's character to a T. If you want to know what Kenny thinks of the world and himself, that's it right there. Watch that and you tell me if you think that's a decent guy. You think Eli Tomac would have just kept walking? Heck no. Eli would have stopped and said, oh, are you okay? Oh, you're okay. And then walked off. But as a human being, you see another human fall, that's really dirty to just keep walking. Speaking of Tomac, geez, what a bummer. Listen, I'm glad he was able to actually race. At first I thought, oh no, he ruptured his Achilles again. That might be the last we ever see of Eli. Hopefully, and I think this is what happened. I think he caught his foot and the peg hit him in the back of the leg and severely bruised his calf. And that's the same one he had surgically repaired. So of course he's like, oh no. He tried to ride. And when a guy as tough as Eli Tomac can only manage a 17th on that leg, it's pretty bad. So here's where I say, being older, you can compete just as well. You can ride just as fast, your endurance, everything's the same as a younger guy. But when you have a week to heal and you have this like massive hematoma on your leg, it sure helps to be in your early 20s rather than your early 30s. Eli Tomac, if he wants to win this championship, he cannot have any more races outside the top 5. He's down a lot of points, but he can't let it get much bigger. If he goes to Detroit, salvages a 5th, and then he's good and he can reel off some wins, he's right back in it. But if he goes to Detroit and finishes outside the top 10, it's not mathematically going to be over, but in my mind, he's done for this championship. All right, guys, I'll be back tomorrow with the 250s. And then also, I'm going to cover some arena cross. I cannot believe how cool the arena cross series is. I was in Prescott. That is a great series. And I cannot believe how many guys try to qualify for night shows. Just go race arena cross. You get treated better and you make as much